That is on the topic leveraging AI and automation to boost L&D practices. And for this, I would like to invite Mr. Chella Pandian, who is AVP and Global Head, Talent, Culture, Diversity, Equity and Inclusion and L&D at Biologics. Giving a brief introduction for him, he has over 2.5 decades of experience in manufacturing, projects, HR, culture, DEI, strategy and innovation in biotechnology, pharma, CRO businesses. Prior to joining Biocon, Chella was heading HR in MOX, MSD, for cluster countries like Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand. In his role, he has immensely contributed to the organizational transformation strategic initiatives, change management, people strategy, talent development, leadership coaching and culture building. With this, please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Great, thank you. It's been a great session from morning, and I happened to hear a few sessions, though I couldn't be here in time. But a lot of context is already set. And talking about automation and leveraging artificial intelligence or robots or any form of technology. When I say technology, there are two forms of technology. Right? The one technology we are exposed to, which is in the known zone. There is another form of technology which is an unknown zone, which we're all in the exploration stage. We can anticipate what is coming. We can Google it, you get it. If you in Google, everything is there in terms of what future looks like from the automation or technology perspective. But the key is not about what technology we have or what technology is likely to come, especially for L&D professionals and the thought leaders who are sitting here. It's about how do we make use of it. I think that's where it is going to be a difference which we all can make. Just not by adopting technology, but it is about how do we bring the best out of a technology for whatever solution we wanted, whether it is a learning solution or a business solution or people solution. How do we get the technology to work for us? Then we work for technology. So since I got very passionate into this, I started doing a PhD in digital transformation in HR. At this age, decided to go for a PhD. I'm doing a PhD in Swiss School of Management. Primarily because I wanted to go deep into this and see what impact we can create to the organization, larger society. But I'm not going to share any of the PhD work here, but it's going to be very simple and simplified manner I wanted to touch upon. My story is going to revolve around not only about technology, and I'm not going to talk about different tools which is available or what is likely to come, which of course all of you know. But what do we do with that? So I'm a design thinking coach, so my mind is all about why are we very excited about technology? For whom are we solving this for? What are we solving for? How are we going to create an impact through technology? So I've broken into three parts. Throughout my conversation with you in the next 20 minutes, you will see not introducing you to technology, which I'm sure you're all there or you will get it. But it's about what do we do with the technology? So how is it going to make an impact in learning and development solution or any kind of solution which we're looking for? For which very important is to understand the disruptors. Many times we just adopt a technology, but is it really aligned to what disruption which is coming, right? And then see how we can leverage it for future. And how are we ready for this technology in terms of finding solutions. When I looked at, there are 4 or 5 things came to my mind. So last night I was working on this to see what disruptors we are expecting. One, obviously, technology itself a disruptor, because what technology we are getting used to today may not be relevant later. It's going to be an obsolete, and there is no one can say that I'm very well versed with anything at this point in time with any technology skill, because it's going to be obsolete. We got to continue to upskill on the technology, right? It's an exploration process. So one of the things I suggest for us as leaders in learning or otherwise to have this 3A approach, which I keep talking about this many forums. One is adopt, adapt, and abort. The difference between adoption and adaptation is like a best practice. So somewhere it is proven and you wanted to adopt that and leverage on that. Adapt is more of during the go, you figure it out. COVID was a great example, right? We were not ready to embrace that, but we adapted to it. then we've overcome that. Then now it's becoming a best practice for future COVID. Hopefully it is not, fingers crossed, it doesn't come. But we adopt because we know the best practice has been set. So similarly in organization, you see a lot of practices are adapt in nature, but are we ready for that? And technology is similar. One is you can adopt, but it's going to become obsolete. Then we'll become into the stage of adapting. But most importantly, what reduces the adoption rate is the willingness to not to abort, willingness to not to let go. We just hold on to the old practices. And technology, that is going to be a big barrier for all of us, because if you don't abort the old practices, you cannot adopt the new practices. Hence, you see the adoption rate is not there. The research says there's only 30% of adoption in technology today, in any given country or in organizations. That's because we are not aborting. We're still hanging on to the old practices. The next big one is the future generation. The new generation is Gen Z. As we're all talking, people have already onboarded into the organization Gen Z. And alpha generation is in schools, right? There's 5th grade and below. What are we going to, they're going to be big disruptors for us in terms of learning. If you take specifically learning and development, our current methodologies and practices may not be suiting them because their learning quotient could be completely different. So what we need to do, we don't know. And if anyone knows, I'll be happy to talk to you about this, because my analysis is none of us know how to deal with them. We are all learning, whether it is Gen Z or alpha generation or the beta generation who's not yet born. We don't know how to deal with them. But their learning quotient is going to be completely different, or at least majority, it will be a very different approach. The way we do business is changing. That's a big disruptor, right? And it is going to be agile in future, which is already there. It's going to be more of collaborative in nature, and the individualized business is going to disappear as we move along with technology. More and more technology comes. It will be very collaborative in nature. Organization will play to strength, then being there everywhere. You will be in a tough competition to play for your strengths. Of course, constant diversification will be there, because you can't stay in the same business for long because it becomes obsolete. A lot of examples, right? And continuous innovation is going to be key in the way you do business. And I'm going to talk a lot about innovation because I want to link innovation to the learning. And hence, are we ready for that whilst we are using technology to change the way we do business? Because technology is going to be a great enabler in this. So then, hence, I wanted to touch upon these factors has to be considered before we even move to look at adopting technology. Because if it is not going to be linked to this, technology will be a standalone, but it is not going to impact organization a lot. Similarly, learning will be a standalone. It is not going to impact the organization a lot. And the way we learn is going to change, right? It's going to be democratized learning. Learning is no more a specific competence of individuals. Those years it was learning, some people are very good learners. Today it is not. Learning is available in abundance. The learning solutions are available. But the thing is about individualized learning competence. So collaborative learning, democratized learning, customized learning. I'll show you a graph where we will all be forced to have, even if you don't like it, a skill index in the future. So we'll talk about this IDP to ISIP. What I mean that is individual development plan to individual skill index plan. Just think about it. It's very soon we will all see that. This, to suit the topic, I just put it, but this is not what I want to talk about because this is something which you all know. But for sure it is coming. And as we talk, there are countries which is already leveraging on this in organization. In my previous organization, at least 60% of this was already there. I've seen it in person and experienced this. So lots are changing the way we look at learning and development solutions, right? It's more for experience, right? And experiential learning we talk about. VR will definitely provide that. And augmented reality, it's more an interactive way of learning, which is already there as we talk. Some countries are behind, but a lot of countries are already doing it. Hologram coaches. I've been coached by through a hologram, right? It's very much possible. Somebody can sit in another country and present here, which is all happening. Virtual trainers, robot as facilitator, which is already happening. Robots are onboarding today, right? There are many companies have already adopted that. And all these are changing, and that's how we are going to be AI-driven skill mapping to choose career, right? If my skills are mapped, artificial intelligence will guide me. Your career guidance could be done by artificial intelligence. And it is all going to be there very soon. And individualized learning platform and dashboard. Each of us will not be selling our CVs or showing our CVs. We will not be talking about experience. Recruitment will not be on experience, it will be more on skill, intelligence. The difference between skill and intelligence is a lot, and we'll talk about that as well. So that's the first part of my conversation to say the world is changing, technology is coming, we are willing to adopt for curiosity, but if we link the technology to and the learning to business outcome, we will be very sustainable in nature, and also we will be able to really make an impact to the organization which we work for or for the society which we work for. So one suggestion, there are many ways to do this. Given the time, I wanted to link the learning to innovation. If learning professionals or learning team can make an impact to the organization through innovation, because innovation is the way of the future. Without innovation, no company would really exist. Because you see that in the last 10 years, a lot of innovations are changing the way we do. The digital transformation itself is an innovation in nature. So how do we bring that how do we bring that innovation mindset through learning? If we anchor the learning focus to innovation, I think we crack the code. Then it will become very sustainable. We will be impacting the business through innovation, and hence learning will be getting more importance and attention than what it is today. And what is going to help us to do that is the technology. So that's the story here. Right? Innovation is the way where to focus, learning is the platform, and technology is the enablers. So that is what I want to talk about in the next 5 minutes. Innovation is complicated by the word itself. A lot of people think, when I ask this question to many of the people, they say innovation is done by scientists. Innovation is done at R&D. But you know, innovation is done everywhere, by everyone, every day. That is how I simplified innovation for our organization, where, simply put it, I'm not sure if anybody can simplify further, innovation is nothing but useful and novel. That is what innovation. And if anything is new and useful, it is innovation. And it can happen everywhere in the organization, everywhere in the society. So there are multiple ways of innovation. It's significant in nature, it's transformational, and some innovations are incremental, right? So how does this will help learning? If we bring the learning mindset for or learning solutions for innovation, so we bring the capabilities of innovation in an organization through learning platforms or with learning focus, we will be impacting the organization in their business growth or their revenue. And where innovation helps us for two things. One is performance gap and an opportunity gap. Simply put it, where we should be is the performance gap, which every organization works on, which also can be done through Six Sigmas and many other tools, right? Or incremental innovation, I call it as. The opportunity gap, where you could be, that's where most of the organizations are investing on. Where we could be, you need a transformational innovation. And imagine the power if learning is connecting their focus to innovation. We bring innovation capability through learning solutions, and we are directly impacting organization in their growth, right? So hence, for a game changer, learning can contribute. Because today the biggest problem in L&D is, the big question is it good to have, it is must have. Are we really impacting the business? Is all our learning programs, is it really impacting the growth of the organization? Here is the solution. In my opinion, innovation is the place where we could really make an impact. And so this is where you see the digital transformation and a transformation innovation appears, right? So how can continuous learning enable innovation in an organization? And that's my focus as well. That is where I'm getting my team to focus. And I thought it'll be worthwhile to share with L&D professionals and the leaders here. If we can connect learning to innovation and use technology to enable. So my summary for, I'll open it up for questions, but before concluding, skill intelligence index is coming. If it's not already there, you'll wait and watch, where selling skill intelligence is going to be more than using your CVs or experience. Today, in an interview, people are looking at what's your experience. experience is not going to make an impact, because experience is an experience. So what? And skill is a skill. So what? How do you convert your skill to an impact? That's skill intelligence, the way artificial intelligence. So if we have a story to say, these are my skills and this is my skill intelligence, because my skills have converted into this much of outcome. If we get to that skill in the intelligence, because the companies are going to buy skill intelligence in future. No more experience buying. Today we are buying experience. How many years of experience you have? Where have you experienced? We need to get to the skill intelligence which is coming. And ROI in L&D has been a very famous thing, right? So what is your ROI? Return on investment will be converted to return on reassurance of impact. I think that's a great place to be, because if you create an impact on an organization through innovation or through any other approach, but are we reassuring an impact through learning solution? I think that should be the focus. Learning has to be curiosity driven. It should not be tick mark. Curiosity driven by an individual. And as I said, skill intelligence, and link skill intelligence to personal and business growth. Right? My selling story to the company is to say, hey, this is my skill intelligence. You buy these skills, this is what you'll benefit. This is how I have grown, this is how I will grow the company. I think that is where it is going, for which technology will be a great enabler, because you can have your individual dashboard of your skill intelligence. So with that note, it's not about how much we learn, it's all about what do you do with what you have learned. That is where the skill intelligence comes, right? If you convert this to skill, it's not about skill building, it's about what do I do with my skills. Can I make it as an intelligence to work for? So when you want to make your learning happen, you need you and technology. To make learning matter, you and an organization or a society is required. To make a difference, it is all with us. With that note, if still there is time, I'll open it up for questions.